Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm not wearing any makeup yet. You're actually going to do the makeup process with me, get ready with me while I review and demo some $1 makeup products. These are products from the brand Shop Miss A. If you guys haven't heard of Shop Miss A, so they have a bunch of products for only $1. And I know a friend of mine had told me about it like a couple years ago. Tanya, I still remember, it's been on my list of things to try, but there's just so much makeup to try. I haven't gotten around to it, and I know Shop Miss A reached out to me. He's like, hey, we would like your honest review. Definitely pick out some products and we would love to send them to you. So I was like, you have been on my list of things to try. They asked for honest reviews, so I'll definitely let you guys know, what I like and what maybe would probably be a pass. I've been playing around with some products, so I've definitely used some products so far, and there's definitely some hits and some misses here. Some I would say, like, yeah, worth $1, I think you should pick up, and there's going to be some that I haven't quite tested out yet, so you'll be doing that with me on camera, and I'll let you know my full-on thoughts. So on the Shop Miss A website, they even kind of curated their own special products, the AOA brand. So this is like the Shop Miss A like exclusive, but they also have other brands that they have on their website for $1. So I primarily tried to get the AOA brand just to check it out and see what they had to offer, but there's also sprinkled around other face products where maybe the AOA line didn't have something that I really wanted to try. I wanted to try maybe with another brand. You'll kind of see that within the video. But the first product that, and I've tried this before, this is their Wonderskin Illuminating Primer. So I'm going to start off with that. And I specifically got the Illuminating Primer, of course, because I have dry skin. So I want something that's going to help whatever foundation I use kind of illuminates on my face. And I just tell you, this is definitely a thicker consistency. So it's not super lightweight. And then actually what I think it's totally worth $1 and I picked up was a little mirror, because especially when you're working with products, if you don't have a mirror, like I don't have an eyeshadow palette, I don't have anything with a mirror, maybe just like a compact, but I specifically kind of just wanted this. That's cute. $1 if you need a little mirror. I like it. But when putting on the primer, I do definitely notice, if you look up close, tiny little like specks of glitter. Actually, I feel like maybe this time around it's not as visible, so that's kind of nice. So actually that's weird. I feel like the first time around I kind of noticed the glitters a little bit more, but I don't notice it as much, so that's a plus. But the Illuminating Primer, it's definitely got like tacky little feel to it, which for dry skin I actually don't mind too much. I actually picked up two different foundations, or one is a BB cream, and I actually took a while to make this order because there was a bunch of products, like different brands I wanted to try. They were kind of sold out, so finally one of the ones that I really wanted to try out, this is the Santee Flawless Perfecting Finish Foundation, and I picked up mine, oh, I can't remember which shade this was. I'll link it down below in the description what shade everything was. It doesn't have it on the bottle, but only $1, so I definitely wanted to check it out. This is the foundation I actually, if you follow me on Instagram, I was doing kind of like a quick kind of just testing out the products on my face, kind of quick tutorial, nothing specific. But I was trying this out. One thing I will say about the foundation was that it's a dropper foundation. Ooh, now you want to dispense product, but yeah, I was having the hardest time kind of dispensing the product. I guess you have to like, oh, now it's working. I was like squeezing and trying to get product out, so maybe squeeze 100 times, and then by the 101st time the product will squeeze out for you. Wouldn't that have been nice? So it's like a hit or miss sometimes if it'll squeeze out or not. The product is definitely a thicker consistency, but when applying it on the face, it's very light coverage. So I feel like I went in with, I picked up one of their sponges, which I've been wanting to try. I know a lot of people, I've been doing a lot of sponge reviews, and people have been asking me, have you tried the Shop Miss A sponge? I was like, it's on my list, I swear, I'm gonna get it. So I picked up the one. This one is actually a little bit more than $1, but because whatever is more than $1, those proceeds go to our furry little friends, animals, to help them out. So I picked up the sponge, plus it was a cute pink one. They have some other ones. But I applied this foundation one side of my face with a sponge and then the other side with a brush, and the brush gave me a little bit better coverage. With the sponge, I would say 2 layers will give you like still light coverage. Feel like the first layer is like kind of sheerish, so you get light not too close to medium with 2 layers, so very light coverage. Foundation also, I need to, the colors, we're gonna hope the color even for the BB cream matches, because this one was a little bit light for me. I'll put like the color down below, but I will say I'm not a fan of this foundation for dry skin. For oily skin though, I think it might be worth a shot. For when I first applied it, it was like really matte. I don't know if it was the foundation or the concealer on top of it, but it just felt really matte. However, by the time I was done with my makeup, it didn't look as drying or mattifying. It kind of just kind of like sunk into the skin a little bit, kind of got a little bit, was close to luminous as you can get with dry skin. So I would say if you do have oily skin, I would check it out. Probably get 2 different colors you think might fit for $1. Might as well try out some different colors to get your right one. But it wasn't totally matte by the time I was done with my makeup. Means maybe like your oils could seep through a little bit. So basically what I'm saying is set that with a powder. So dry skin, I would say skip it. Oily skin, normal skin even, might be worth a shot. So what I'm actually going to try with you guys is the BB cream, and this is the AOA, their light, the shade light BB cream. And let's shake this up just in case, and let's pray that this color matches me. Maybe, if not, we're really going to bronze it up. So it's definitely, it's not a watery BB cream, so let's see how that kind of applies. Take my trusty mirror. Let's see. Okay. And I'm going to use a sponge, and honestly I would definitely recommend checking out the sponge. I like it a lot actually. For $1, that's not bad. For if you need a try out a makeup sponge. I will say it probably soaks up a little more product than say my Morphe one or the Real Techniques or the Sonia Kashuk, but I mean it's $1. It's still going to work well. And if you're using a $1 foundation, you're not wasting too much product. Ooh, that coverage is nice. That I can see already. It's kind of evening out my skin tone. I like how it looks like it already just kind of evened out my skin tone. You can still kind of see like some unevenness, redness on this side, but this side is just starting to look better already. I'm gonna just do another layer on this side of my face just to see what 2 layers, but I would say yeah, it's definitely a light coverage. It's a BB cream, so, but if I can find a good BB cream for $1 for the summertime, that would be. The coverage is actually pretty nice for a BB cream. For me, the trick is going to be how it kind of dries up, how it kind of sets on dry skin. That's always, but doesn't feel intensely matte yet. Feels pretty hydrating. We'll see. Every foundation for dry skin, I'm just like, well, how are you going to set? Even for a BB cream though, it's like not super sheer. I feel like that Santee foundation was definitely more sheer than this. I feel like even the BB cream's giving me better coverage. This is the AOA brand. So far, the BB cream, so that's the BB cream. This is 2 layers. You can definitely get away with 1 if you just have that really great skin, but I would probably do 2 layers. But so far so good. We're gonna see how this kind of dries down and sets. But the sponge I really like. It's really soft. It's actually one of the lighter weight sponges, affordable sponges that I've tried. Like this lightweightness is probably like the closest maybe of airiness to the Beauty Blender than some of the other ones. Like, I really like this sponge. $1 or $1 plus, and proceeds go to puppies and kitties and bunnies, and who doesn't want that? So the next product that I'm going to try out, so I picked up concealers, but they have correctors as well. And if you guys watch my videos, I love trying out color correctors for underneath my eyes especially. I do have dark circles. Ooh, that foundation's looking good. I do have dark circles, so I have played with their concealers. So first I'm going to do my corrector, which honestly I don't mind the corrector because I just kind of dab it on where I need it. I'll show you later for the concealer specifically, maybe talk a little bit more about what I would change about the applicator. But I actually do like their peach corrector. I feel like the peachy color is like not too light, not too dark. So for my skin tone, this really works. And it just kind of like corrects that darkness. Like it looks brighter on this side. Of course, I always go on with concealer on top. But the fact that I'm not doing those triangles, because with the color corrector, you're just doing placement where that dark area is, because that's what you want to cancel out. And then going in with my sponge. So I picked up 2 concealer shades. Like the packaging is nice. This looks very much like ColourPop packaging, Kylie Jenner packaging. So I picked up 2 different shades because they look way darker on the website. I feel like a lot of their shades than they do when they kind of arrive. So I wasn't sure. So I picked up the shade Porcelain and the shade Light Ivory. So I actually might kind of mix a little bit because one's like really bright and then one might be a little too dark. But let me tell you, I feel like about the applicators, I feel like I felt it more with their actual concealers. I'm not a big fan of the applicator because when I put on concealer, I kind of want to drag. And this isn't the softest applicator. Like maybe it just doesn't soak up as much product as I would like. So it just feels a little scratchy. It's not the most comfortable. So yeah, that Light Ivory is not what I want, so we're gonna stick with so I feel like I kind of gotta like dab it on, and then I'll actually go in and blend it out because I feel like this concealer is pretty mattifying. Like it dries up quick, so I think it actually, like the concealer, if you have oily under eyes, I think you'll really like this if you don't mind kind of like tapping on the concealer, but at the same time that also helps you kind of not use up so much excess product. I mean, it's $1. The wand might not be the best, so that's just kind of my fair warning for it. But it actually helps you kind of control a little bit better. So I will say, I think apply one eye first, blend that out, and then apply the second eye. Because I feel like when I try to do triangle, down the bridge of the nose, you know, like that extra makeup tutorial, the usual, it kind of dries up really, really quickly, and it's so much harder to blend out. Doing one eye at once, so much easier to blend out. So I think some people will like the concealer, I think some people maybe won't. I think that with the tips that I gave with applying it, which is basically one eye at a time and then blend out, I got way better results now, yeah, definitely, than I did the first time when I tried to do everything at once and then blend out. It just dries up really quickly, but I was like, okay, no, I like this way better. I would definitely, if for $1 you need like a peach corrector, you just kind of dab under the eyes, definitely recommend the concealer. Basically, it just takes a little bit more time, or not even. Maybe some people already kind of apply their concealer one at a time and blend out. I think definitely, you know, I think something worth checking out. To set my concealer, I'm going to take the AOA, their Perfect Setting Powder. They had a couple different variations. I picked up mine in the shade Soft Lights, so this actually is pretty good for my skin tone. And this is a matte powder. I was wondering, is this going to be shimmer? Can I use this for underneath my eyes? It's definitely great for underneath the eyes, and if you want to do all around the face. Normally before I set my concealer, I try to dab in one more time. And I actually really do like this setting powder. It's really smooth. If you want a mattifying setting powder, that one's pretty good for $1. And they have different shades. I love that they have different shades. And it almost gives it like a nice, like poreless, seamless finish. Like that's really, oh my god. And this foundation is drying down really nice. So this BB cream. And then I'm going to take the AOA Sculpting Brow Pencil. Once again, I'll put down below the color shade that I chose. They have a couple different shades. I think I usually choose like a medium brown, but I'll put the exact name down below. But for $1, you get one side with a spoolie, and then the other side, this is like a thicker pencil, you know, similar to the Anastasia Brow Definer. So not the nice, precise Brow Wiz. This is like that brow definer. And then I actually have used this before. I like the formula, I like the pencil, I like the spoolie. The only thing I would get is a different color. That's my only problem with this brow pencil. And excuse me, I need to get my brows done, but the color was just a little bit too red. I'm pretty sure it was like a medium brown, so for me the color was just way too warm. But the fact that everything is $1, You can buy 2 different, you know, shades of each product if you want even, and you're still not splurging. So let me just finish up my brows real quick. Those are the brows. They're red. I know, don't tell me. It's pretty warm. That's the only thing I think I would change about this brow pencil is the color. I would just get a different color for myself. Just hopefully, I guess, the other shades aren't as warm. So I'm gonna get the rest of the face together so that the brows aren't so prominent. But I think the application is really easy. It's really quick. So we're actually going to move on to the eyes. So I zoomed you guys in a little bit. Ignore my red ass brows. Hopefully with the makeup look put together, look a little bit better. So I picked up the AOA, their eyeshadow primer. And for $1, babe, you need an eyeshadow primer. I think this works really well. I picked up these shades. They have a couple different ones, which is always great. I picked up the one, I think this is Nude. And I like it because it actually has like a nice little kind of base color, which is why I always like to use something like my Painterly Paint Pot, but like just kind of look at the difference of my eye. So it just kind of like helps whatever color you have pop a little bit more. So that's why I kind of like using a eyeshadow primer with a like color. I think they might have one that's like pearl or shimmery or something. So if you're using more shimmery shades, definitely go with that. But this works well for $1. Go for it. Try it out. Because a primer, I always use a primer with eyeshadow no matter how great the eyeshadow is. And if I don't use primer, I use a concealer so I can cancel out anything going on. So I'm just going to go in real quick. I picked up the LA Colors, their matte shadow. This was in this mattifying. So it's just this little quad. I picked up a couple different ones, but I wanted like a nice base kind of color. So that I can play with some shimmer shades on top. Just something simple, but wanted to use a couple of different products. So I was just taking that cream shade and just setting my eyes. And then let's go in with this kind of pinkish shade and just kind of do like an overall, like if I were to do a warm brown transition on the eyes. I feel like this LA Color matte shadow, it's okay. The light ones really are pretty light. They don't stand out as much. I think it's only okay. I would maybe try a different little quad for maybe a different brand. I mean, for $1 though. If anything, the 2 darker browns are definitely a little bit more prominent. So just so you can kind of see. So I'm going to take a little bit of this brown and put it into the crease. Just so you can kind of see. So you can kind of see the pigment on the brush, but it's really, really light. It gives you something. So this would probably be that first, a better choice for that first initial maybe like base shade. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys. It's very minimal. I'll try to, and I try to like tap it on as much as possible and then kind of buff in. I want to tap and try to get as much product as possible. So you gotta work with a little bit more, but you can make it work. Little trick I want to show you guys, in case, you know, say that brown wasn't as dark as you want to go. I went ahead and picked up, I'm going to use my bronzer. This is always a great trick to use. It's actually a face powder that I picked up in the shade Honey by the brand Malibu Glitz. So also another trick, if you can't find a good bronzer shade that you like, it's always good to go with like a face powder. So I picked up this one as my bronzer and as another like transition eyeshadow shade, just so I can get a little bit more definition. And that stands out a little bit more. I wanted to pick up some of their other colors, but they have been sold out for the longest, and I really wanted to try these like individual little eyeshadows. And I'll say, if you're gonna go different individual eyeshadow colors, I would definitely recommend this brand, Amuse, and just wait for the other colors to come back in stock. But so far, this one in the shade Eggplant was like the only one that I can kind of find that wasn't out of stock. There's another shade, but I was like, I have a brown shade in that quad I can use. So I picked up this one, and honestly, for $1, I think this pigment is pretty nice. This is definitely one of the more pigmented eyeshadows as opposed to the LA Colors quad. So I would definitely say for $1, pick up these individual eyeshadows. And then I'm just using one of my Anastasia brushes, so I can really get that precise placement, and then I'll blend it out. Definitely just takes some blending and working with it, but I'm packing it on to get that most color payoff, and just kind of having a little pop of color on the edge. I wanted to test some color out and just play with something. So I'll kind of add it, and then I'll turn it around and I'll blend it out. So I feel like this eyeshadow just takes, you know, packing and blending and packing and blending to get the consistency that you want. But for $1, if you want to play with some colors, some shadows, I would recommend this brand from Shop Miss A. So I picked up 2 baked eyeshadows from AOA. This one is in the shade Bourbon, and this one is in the shade Grenade. Grenade is definitely more of a brown shimmer, and Bourbon is more of a coppery shade. I played with a Bourbon the other day, but today I want to play with Grenade. And actually what I did right now, and I don't know if you guys have ever used e.l.f. They're like baked highlights. Everybody's like, oh my god, it's so nice, and then you buy it and you're like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I feel like I can't get anything from the top of it, but the trick is kind of like scraping off like that first top layer. For some reason I feel like maybe that's a thing with like baked shadows, baked highlights. Sometimes it's just like baked so much that the shimmer's underneath, so I'll just quick scrape through. Let's see if that works. I did that with the highlights, and I feel like I definitely got a highlight. So I'm actually just gonna take my finger. Oh, much better, yeah. Because with the Bourbon one, I was like, oh, it's not as shimmery as I would like, but with any baked eyeshadow, definitely scrape there. I would still prefer maybe a little bit more shimmer, but this is alright for $1. It's not as like sparkly as I would hope, but we can, ooh, but that looks nice with that brown. What we can do, so you can see if it makes a difference, I'll actually take a little bit of my Fix Plus and see if that helps out a little bit, and see what's better, finger or Fix Plus. Just helps a little bit. It's not that much of a dramatic difference. Yeah, it's only okay. Like, the pigment is really nice. Actually, it looks really nice on camera. It's really pigmented. I have no problems with that. I just prefer a little bit more shimmer from a baked shadow, but that's still really nice. Like, it doesn't look matte. I would just prefer a little bit more shimmer. So, you know, I had to do my wing, so I picked up the AOA. This is their Wonder Liquid Liner. I think they also kind of had a gel liner too, but I just tend to use liquid liner more, so I was like, I wanted to check one out. So let me just show you guys my wing really quickly. Fuck. Wait till your eyeliner dries to wipe off. Wait till your eyeliner dries before you try to wipe off any flecks of makeup on your face and swipe down. Oops. Don't worry, we fixed it. Luckily, this side is my good side. Or is it this side? Damn. I think it's this side. Okay, so my thoughts on this eyeliner. I've used it before, and it's not a matte, it's not a glossy finish, it's more maybe like on that vinyl side, so which is why I personally don't mind it. I definitely lean more towards, I prefer matte liquid liners, so sometimes vinyl I'm like, alright, I'll kind of take it, but I prefer full-on matte, so don't mind it too much. The wand is actually, it's a brush tip applicator, and it's pretty, you know, fine, so it's actually really easy to use and kind of get like that wing at the end. I think it's really easy. The only thing I would say, and this could just be me for the eyeliner, I don't know why, but for some reason, once I had kind of applied it, I kind of felt maybe like my eyes getting a little bit itchy, a little bit, and then once I kind of even removed my makeup, I don't know if maybe there's like maybe bits kind of left over, but my eyes were really itchy, so I don't know if maybe there's something in this that I personally am allergic to, but that's just something I experienced, so I don't know if anybody else has. I don't know if it was the eyeliner or the mascara, but I feel like when I was done kind of applying the eyeliner, I just started to feel it, but it could have been the mascara, which I'll kind of talk about a little bit more, or actually show you guys just really quickly. something that my eyes did not agree with. I was rubbing them a lot. I was like, oh god, I hope I don't like wake up with puffy eyes. So that's the only thing I kind of have. It could be this, it could be the mascara. So the next step that I'll show you guys, I picked up their like 2-step mascara. So the first step is the pre-lash, which is just kind of like, it looks like regular mascara. Yeah, like just like a black mascara. This might be to like lengthen it. And then it's the hyper lash, which is interesting because I was like, is it just mine? Is this how it's supposed to be? I guess it kind of makes sense. It's like a dried out wand, but it looks like, it's like almost as if you were to take like pipe cleaner and just kind of like scrape it through, like those little pelitos, like the little hairs that would fall off from it. That's kind of like what's in here. So I guess it kind of makes sense as a 2-step to kind of like wet the lashes a little bit, lengthen them, and then this kind of like catches on those little fibers. But the problem is you get them all over your face, and then you get little fibers all over your face. But I'll just show you guys the little demo of the mascara. So I'm doing the pre-lash first, and then we're going with hyper lash. The pre-lash to me didn't lengthen or anything, maybe just separate it. Just trying to, and then we're gonna go in with hyper lash, but it looks like, I don't know, it just feels like I'm putting dust bunnies on my eyes. So I guess with it wet, it like catches on. It's okay. You can kind of tell a difference. It does make them look a little bit fuller, a little bit darker. I think for me, the mascara duo would kind of be a pass. I feel like for my lashes, didn't do anything worth kind of noticing. And for me, I'm just too messy to get the second step on, where I gotta be really careful not to have any little flakes fall under my eyes. And then just, yeah, look, see, I already got, come on. Yeah, that's my only problem, and then I'm just getting all this darkness all over. Look at that! So unless you're not Little Miss Perfect, Little Mr. Perfect, you know, I would skip the mascara. I think for me, it's a pass. Better like, I did pick up some lashes, and these, I was waiting for them to be in stock. These are the ones that I really want to try out in this shade, the AOA brand in Alexis. They have a nice variety of lashes for $1. So I really wanted to try out these, and I'm glad they got back in stock because it just definitely look more wispy. So let me put those on real quick. I do like these lashes though. The Alexis lashes for $1. Not bad. While I was putting on my eyelashes, because I was getting really close, fibers from that mascara was falling all over my face, so I was just trying to brush that off. So yeah, no on that mascara, because I was like, is that my facial hair? Or is that the mascara? Is it time to shave my face? Or no, that was the mascara, but it's also time to shave my face. So I just added a little bit of that purple underneath, but that's pretty pigmented, so definitely do like that shade or that brand. To finish off the face, I'm going back in with that bronzer, which is the Malibu Glitz, or the face powder. I picked up mine in the shade Honey, and I also picked up the AOA Studio, their F14. This is their like angled contour brush, and I'm just gonna dip into it, and for $1 I would definitely check out their brushes. So I'll show you a couple other ones that I picked up, but definitely it's really soft. So just adding that. I think if you want to go the bronzer route, I would definitely check out their face powder and just find like a face powder that's a couple shades darker than your skin, and you can substitute that as a bronzer. I'm not wowed by it, but I just kind of wanted something to do a full face with all their products. As in all over like face bronzer, it's pretty lightweight, so if you want to substitute, or face powder, it's pretty lightweight, but as a bronzer, I think I like something maybe a little bit. It's pretty pigmented. It's like a buildable bronzer. But I also, another brush that I picked up, the AOA, their high def brush, for $1. Actually, I think it was $2, but it came in a 2-pack. So you get this brush and this brush. So I'm gonna count it as $1 each. But I love dual fiber brushes to like apply my face powder with and like kind of blend it out, and this I love. So this, another dual fiber brush for the win. bronzer. I think I could probably find a better one if I keep looking, or hopefully, I was really hoping the AOA brand would have their own bronzer, so hopefully they do. And you know, this one's fine. I just think I would like something a little bit better that I would say is noteworthy, worth picking up. This was just kind of like a, this is more like a, let me pick up something so I can, you know, use a bronzer product, but not really a necessity, I feel like, from all the other products they have. The next product that I'm going to use is the Muse Cosmetics. This is a blush. It's a pretty big blush. This one is in the shade Satin Sheets, if that's it. It's a peachy coral brush. It looks a lot brighter than it did on the website, just so fair warning. And I picked up another brush by AOA. This is their F13, and I do like this for blush. It just depends how pigmented your blush is. So let's say I tap it on, tap off, and dab lightly with that blush specifically, and then kind of work it in like that, because it's pretty pigmented. This blush as well, I would say if you want to, it's pigmented, so use a dual fiber blush brush if you can. If I had a smaller one, I would probably do that. Just be careful. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty pigmented. It's matte. I prefer sometimes something with a little bit of a sheen, but if you want a pigmented blush, I would probably just get a different color. Just for me, this is a little bit too bright, maybe specifically with this look. It's also another one of those where I wasn't super impressed. I think it was just fine, but they had so many blushes I wasn't sure which one. But as you can kind of tell, it's very light. I would recommend the brush though. I think if you wanted to use this for blush, or even kind of chisel away some cheekbones for $1, the F13 brush. Going back into the AOA Wonder Highlight in the shade Snap. Like I said, I went and I kind of scraped off the top layer. Once again, I feel like it's just maybe more of a matte highlight. So I can see a little bit of a highlight, but not too much. I'm just going to go in. It just feels kind of mattifying. You can kind of see it, but it just looks a little bit like dry and powdery on my face up close, so the camera kind of catches a nice little gleam to it, but it almost looks like a little bit scaly on my skin. So I'm not a big fan of the highlight. If you want a very light matte highlight, then yeah, check it out. But if you want a booming highlight, it's okay. Oh no, that's what I forgot what I did. So I forgot. So because with the brush I think it was okay, I went in and kind of wet my beauty blender. That's what I did. I forgot. See, this is why you play around products, see how it works. I went in with the beauty blender and then just kind of dabbed it in. There we go. And dabbed it onto my face. A little bit better. You could definitely catch it a little bit more on camera. If you have dry skin, I would definitely recommend going in with the wet beauty blender. A little bit better. It definitely doesn't look as scaly on the skin, but it's still much better with the beauty blender. It's not an extreme highlight. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. It's like a nice little gleam of light. If you want that booming highlight, I would try something else. So I picked up a couple different lipsticks. The first two were their bullet lipsticks. This is the AOA Studio Wonder lipstick. So I'll try them on just so you guys can see the colors, and I'll tell you a little bit about the finish and application. So as you guys can see, for $1, this is how much product you get. I've seen lipsticks with higher prices, less product, or that same amount. So this is in the shade Latte. If you're not a fan of really like powerful smells, you're not gonna like this. It has like almost like a medicine-y type of smell, so if that bothers you, you're not gonna like this formula lipstick. It glided on. It felt like a creamy, maybe matte formula. I would say it could be because this is like a brighter shade, but I feel like I kind of had to run through a couple times more than anything, not because it wasn't pigmented, but because just kind of getting that evenness, which can happen with brighter colors. It can come off maybe a little bit patchy, so trying to even that out. And then as it's kind of setting on my lips, it's getting a little bit drier and drier, so it's interesting. I've never really felt that with like a bullet lipstick, but like wanting to kind of run through it on top now that it's dried, it's definitely a little bit harder. It kind of feels like you gotta tug a little bit, so it's just drying up a little bit more than I would like. It sets to like how a really like maybe like the ColourPop liquid lipsticks, matte, matte, matte. It almost feels like I can feel the matteness on my lips, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. The next shade that I picked up in like the bullet lipstick form is the shade Detox. So Detox definitely glided on the lips pretty easily, but now we're running into the problems that I sometimes run into with maybe darker lipsticks. So that's why I always, when testing out new brands of lipsticks, I like to get a lighter one and a darker one just to kind of see if there's a difference. So same thing kind of like with the shade Latte, just kind of, it's pigmented off the bat, but trying to run it through to kind of get that evenness, that even coloring. So it takes a little bit of working with, but once you do, this color is really nice. Oh my god, I love it. So it's just kind of trying to run through and get like any patchiness out, so it looks like one nice even layer. So that's the only problem I kind of run in with this one, but same thing with the Latte one. The more that I kind of let it sit on my lips, the more I kind of feel it maybe drying it up a little bit. So that's my only thing. For $1 though, if you just want to take a quick Instagram photo, put on your lipstick and go, or if you don't mind like the over dryingness, maybe really hydrate your lips beforehand. Make sure you scrub, exfoliate your lips, get any dead skin off, because that just, with any lipstick, just kills the vibe of the lipstick. I love the color. And honestly, once I just kind of like layered it through, it looks really nice. It takes a little bit more work. It's $1 though, so that's kind of what, you just have to put a little bit more work into it, and it's really dry. I really like that Detox shade. That was beautiful for $1. If you just want to play with some colors, I think that's a good way to go, to kind of get used to them, especially if you're someone who wants to transition into the vampy shades, the red shades, the pinks. I would suggest picking up maybe those bullet lipsticks to kind of play with some different colors and get comfortable with them. I also picked up, of course, their liquid lipsticks for $1. They look same packaging as the concealers and very similar to like ColourPop, and of course I can't, if it's $1, I'm gonna pick up multiple shades. So I think the first one I'll try on is the shade Drama. I wore the shade Hype on my, when I was doing my Instagram. Need to follow me on Instagram so you can keep up and get those sneak peeks, but I'll try Drama for you guys first, because this is like a really pretty, like a berry purple shade, so I want to see how it goes with this one. I will say it might be the wand, but I feel like Hype definitely picked up more product, so it's easier to glide on. That was the shade Drama. I love that color so much. Like I said, initially I tried the shade Hype, and I feel like when kind of picking up or taking the applicator out, it picked up more product, so it might just depend maybe how long these have been kind of sitting around, you know, or the liquidiness. I don't know if the consistency is the same in all of them. So this one is just going to take a little bit maybe more kind of dipping into, but you do get a nice even layer. I didn't have to work with it too much like maybe the bullet lipstick, surprisingly, where I kind of get that patchiness and trying to like even everything out. I think it's just like you run out of, depending depending which one you use, you're gonna run out of a little bit of product, so just kind of trying to do that. I will say the applicator isn't the most comfortable. It's maybe the amount of product the liquid lipstick picks up is a little bit better than, say, like the concealers. Also, that's under your eyes, so I feel like maybe you feel that a little bit more uncomfortable with the applicator. Isn't the best. I would prefer a spongier applicator for my concealer. Same thing for the lipstick. It's not, doesn't feel as bad, but it's definitely not the most comfortable feeling. So just something I kind of wanted to point out. It is kind of like that doe foot, but I just wish it was a little bit more comfortable. The finish of this feels very similar to, say, maybe like the e.l.f. liquid lipsticks, or even maybe I want to say the Wet n Wild, or is it the Jordana, but kind of like a powdery finish, very lightweight powdery finish, so it doesn't like feel extra drying on my lips. I will say it's not gonna last as long as your traditional liquid lipstick. You know, the formula is a little bit thinner, a little bit different, but it will, I would say, if you're not like eating or drinking anything, maybe like those good 4 hours, like you can get a good wear time out of it. But if you eat or drink, it's going to get in like those kind of middle areas. When I kind of like go like that and like stretch out my lips and I look at the very top, I can kind of like see it cracking off a little bit. So I would give it maybe, for, I don't know how many people are talking like this, but you know, with kind of mouth movements and just kind of like the skin on your lips kind of moving around a little bit, it'll kind of wear off. But overall, it doesn't feel like overly, for me, dehydrating on my lips. It doesn't feel, actually this feels a little bit more comfortable than I would say the bullet lipsticks. Maybe the bullet lipsticks, like the formula is a little bit thicker, so these just felt like really matte, really dry quicker. So I would definitely say skip the bullet lipsticks, maybe, especially because that scent was really powerful. The liquid lipsticks don't have that scent. Another way you can play with some colors, and honestly, if you want, you know, you're not gonna wear it for that long, or it's $1, so you're gonna have to put in that work into it, you know. It's, you know, put your back into it, girl. You're gonna have to play around with it a little bit more, but it wasn't even the application, it wasn't playing around with it, but you might have to reapply a couple times. But guess what, you only spent $1, so you know, the amount of product you're using up, it's not that much more that you're spending. Just so you guys can kind of see the shades, so this one is Drama, and as you can see, like, it glides on really nicely, like that. They're pigmented. The next shade, this is like a pinkier one. This one is the shade Hype. So this is the one that I feel like the doe foot definitely picked up a little bit more product. And then we picked up the shade Bougie, because I can be bougie on a budget. Ooh, this is a really nice, like, cool tone nude shade. Ooh. It reminds me kind of, what's that ColourPop shade that's like that nice cool tone? And then we picked up Tease, which is definitely more of a more purple cool tone shade, like a nice, ooh, like this is a really pretty lilac shade, just so you can kind of see the difference. And then we have the shade Vintage. The shade Vintage, just kind of even swatching on my hand, I feel like this is one that's you're gonna have to work with, to trying to make that evenness, that layer. It's gonna look a little bit patchy because even on my hands, one swipe and then going over it again just kind of already unevened it out a little bit, so you're gonna have to work on evening it out. So this is one maybe, I'm not sure, you're gonna have to work with way more than the other ones. The other ones with that application I think was really smooth, really nice pigmentation, but Drama, love this color. I think it's just gonna depend maybe on the colors. I mean, honestly, I swatched 5, and 4 out of the 5 I really like the way they swatched. I think Hype applied really nicely on the lips when I did my Instagram kind of like a review and demo, and then now with Drama, as you can see it on my lips, I think it was really nice, and it also swatches really nice. So even just kind of having that swatch on the hand kind of shows you maybe. 4 to 5, swatching really nicely. Yeah, I think there's definitely some colors I think are worth checking out. Liquid lipstick, I would definitely say give it a shot. Doing one final check-in with the Perfect BB cream on my face, and for dry skin I'm not hating it. I feel like definitely the Santee Flawless, their Perfect Finish Foundation, not for dry skin. Oily skin I would say check it out, but this is holding up pretty well, and it's April, but it's still winter in Chicago. It's 34 degrees today. I think over the weekend it went down to like 29, low 30s. So, you know, my skin is definitely not the best. I definitely not going to judge it extremely harshly, but I would wear this out. Like, I would recommend this. I think this is going to be even better for me when it's actually springtime weather next week in Chicago. So next week this is going to be a whole totally different look. I think it's going to sit on my skin even better. So, I mean, maybe that's a bonus in Chicago. One week you'll have winter, the next week you'll have spring, and then you'll be back to fall and summer all within a month. So you can really test out every season of a foundation within a couple of weeks. But for dry skin, I think it's not overly drying, it's not dehydrating, it doesn't feel completely matte. So therefore I think dry skin or normal skin, if you want to try a BB cream for $1, like, that's not bad at all. I feel like it might cling on to like some of my dry areas like my forehead, but once again, like I said, it's still winter time. I'm not keeping up too much with my skincare routine like as often as I should. However, I feel like some things that would kind of help that would be using a different primer. So I feel like the Illuminating primer for me, it didn't do too much. Like I don't know if I would prefer more hydrating primers. So I think for me, I would substitute my favorite L'Oreal Glow Lock primer, and I would kind of match it up with this BB cream instead so I can get that hydration. So I think I would definitely take those extra steps in prepping my skin, a little bit more Max Fix Plus, using a hydrating primer, and I think I can definitely work with this BB cream and like it even more. For now, I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't mind going out like this, but I can make it even better. So if you guys have tried this BB cream, let me know what you think. I picked up the shade Light, which I definitely think I can probably go maybe another shade or mix the next shade together. It's not too bad as light as the foundation was, so we can definitely still work with it. And for $1, I'm like, yeah, let's try the next shade and mix it together. So I think this was definitely a win for me. There was definitely some hits and some misses, but as I mentioned, you know, some of the ones that I would recommend, hopefully maybe that's enough for you to want to, like, you know, do an order and check some of these out yourself. But I'm so glad I finally got to try these Shop My Say, their $1 products. I think next maybe I'll try their other products, or maybe just like $2, $3, and see if there's a difference with those. Still very affordable. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of like review and demo. Let me know if there's any products that you might pick up, and or if you already tried some and you really like it. Maybe I just didn't try it in this video, but don't forget to subscribe to keep up with some more videos, some more affordable makeup tutorials, and then as well as some affordable makeup product reviews to check out and save even more money. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.